Hey guys, it is on screen, off screen, back with another episode this week. We appreciate you guys all watching. Josh, take it away with your first topic.
Okay, so this is a building off of 2 weeks ago. I talked about Odessa
Yeah.
and how I believe that the world needs more rock operas.
Hmm?
So I did a little thing that I do sometimes, and I Googled best rock operas. Excuse me. And I do something I don't normally do, and that's Reddit. I hate Reddit, I think it's stupid. But I found a Reddit thread that's like, hey, I like rock operas. I really liked this one. What are some other ones? I don't even remember what the original poster put on there. And I started scrolling through and I saw Pink Floyd's The Wall, 1982, on everybody's top 5 rock opera list.
Okay.
Everyone, like almost everyone. It was all over this place. And so I thought to myself, okay, let's let's give it a shot. I like some Pink Floyd, you know. It's not my favorite band, but like I don't dislike them. I could not finish this.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Why was it so rough?
It's not my idea of a rock opera. It's more like a collaboration of all those weird music videos put one after another into one film. There's no like cohesive story. There's no
It's like watching
characters.
MTV.
There's no what's his name? Queen. Uh Flash Gordon. There's no Flash Gordon character. There's no ridiculous over the top cheesy stuff. It is like music video after music video after music video. And they're extremely weird music videos. Like the intro was pretty interesting because I thought this is going to be a rock opera about World War One. And then I thought, no, this is going to be a rock opera based off of the son of a soldier from World War One going into World War Two. And then it turned into a bunch of Nazi children going into machines that turn them into students. And I thought maybe this is a Jewish thing. And then they threw a party and fell into a meat grinder. And then it cut to two flowers, one very male and female shaped flowers
Okay.
fighting each other. And then the one eats the other one and then grows bigger. And you're like, what the crap am I watching? Oh my god, this is so weird. This is just no thank you.
Weird.
I don't know who's watching this and saying this is a great movie. It's barely a movie. I don't understand this at all. So I got like a third of the way through, maybe, and I turned it off. And now I'm kind of like, maybe we don't need more rock operas. Maybe that's the wrong thing. I think we need more Flash Gordons and more Odessas, whatever that genre is called. Because apparently it's not a rock opera. We need more of that. We need none of this ever.
I I don't really like Pink Floyd that much. I like 70s music, 70s and 80s rock quite a bit. Pink Floyd has just never worked for me. I know they're a huge band, but I just don't love them that much. This isn't one I would even if you said it was great, I'd still kind of be like, maybe I'll check it out. Because they're just not my band.
They're not my band either. I'm very much with you. There's not a single Pink Floyd song on my liked music playlist. And the only reason
Either.
I played it or tried to watch it is because on this Reddit thread, it came up over and over and over and over again. Jesus Christ Superstar came up less often than this one.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
And so I was like, okay, like I said, I'm not a Pink Floyd fan. I don't love Pink Floyd, but I don't dislike Pink Floyd.
Yeah,
So
they're
I'll
fine.
give this one a shot. And no, I did not need to give that one a shot. I probably could have just saved myself 45 minutes because it's like 2 hours long and not watched this. It's completely unnecessary for me.
Doesn't sound worth it at all.
It's not. It's not worth anybody's time.
Okay.
Like, even if you're a Pink Floyd fan, I would say, hey, just listen to Pink Floyd music. There's no characters, there's no story, there's nothing cohesive, there's nothing that makes sense.
Just do that. Is
Just
it
just
actually?
listen to your music.
Is it actually music videos? Did you
I
try
don't know.
watching?
Nope.
Okay,
I was
I'd
too
be
much
interested if
like,
it was actually a
what the
music video.
frick? No, thank you. I don't
Okay,
need this in my life.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll absolutely skip that one. And with that, I'll go to my first one. Alpha. Have you heard of this? Watch this? Anything?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Okay. I was pleasantly surprised by this movie. I liked it. Um,
Oh,
they
this is a
invent.
movie.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's a show called Alpha. I've heard of the show, not this one.
Okay. The movie is based on a boy who is going on his first buffalo run with his tribe, and
Okay.
this I think takes place. It seems like I wasn't ever clear on this. It seems like it takes place sometime during, right before or right after the Ice Age, somewhere right in there. And they made a whole language for this movie. They got a professor who's a linguist from the University of British Columbia, and she created a language for this movie. And it's supposed to represent a language that has died out, and it would have been what they spoke during that time period to give it a little bit more of a life and a nuance. So the entire movie is in this fake foreign language. I think it's cool they were able to pull that off and have everybody learn this language, but you do have to read the subtitles. The Everything about this movie is pretty good. The action scenes are pretty good. The acting is pretty good. Um, some of the action scenes are actually quite good. The boy is doing this buffalo run. It's the first time. He says goodbye to his mom. He doesn't know if he's going to come back. It's a very dangerous thing to do. And he freezes up, and the buffalo tosses him off of a cliff. He ends up on a ledge and doesn't completely die. He wakes up a couple days later. The tribe is gone. They think he's dead, and he has to figure out a way back home. He tries to climb down, and it's a little unrealistic. There's a flood that comes through down in the bottom. He doesn't think he'll be able to hold down and climb down, so he decides to jump into the flood and ends up surviving. I don't buy that he would probably survive this flood, but if he did, I'll give it a little bit of a break, a little bit of a grace. He has to figure out how to get home, and his body is broken. He's beat up, and he has to survive. And it's kind of the story of the first time that a human being meets human's best friend, the dog, the wolf. And he gets chased by these wolves, and one of them gets hurt. He tends that wolf back to health, and they become friends, and they survive. And they survive together. Pretty basic story, but you have the action scenes that are really good. You have some really good cinematography. They have this weird filter that's on the movie that kind of makes the colors feel surrealist, but it worked for me. I enjoyed it. And then you have a couple scenes that are just super cool. There's a part where he falls through the ice, and the dog is on top of the ice and he's on the bottom. And there's this part where they stopped it, and the dog is jumping up in the air to try to like crash down on the ice to try to break through it. And that scene I want to capture and make as my background because it's so cool. Like it's gorgeous. Um, this relationship with the dog and the human is really well done. It makes you care about both of them. You want them both to succeed, even though it's a pretty simple story. The action scenes are pretty good. The environment scenes are pretty good. Like everything is just enjoyable, and it makes for a very good time watching this movie. Like, if you're in a mood where you're kind of like playing a game and you're watching this in the background, it's worth your time because it's just enjoyable. Good.
You can't do that because it's in a language that doesn't exist, so nobody can just listen to it and have it make sense.
You're completely right. That was a dumb thing for me to say. If you're in the mood for just kind of a fun, good time movie, and that's about it, it's worth your time. It's good, and if you don't hate reading subtitles, it's worth your time. It's an enjoyable movie. It's better than I think it's rated as like a 6.4 on IMDb. I would give it about a full point above that. I think it is better than that. It's a good movie
Okay, I will not be watching it.
because you have to read the subtitles.
Mostly that, but also the boy dog story plotline has never worked for me.
Ever like even not Balto, the live action one about the actual dog that did it before Balto, and Balto got all the credit. What is that show called? It's so good. I love that show. One second. Togo. Have you seen Togo? Oh, I loved Togo. I genuinely enjoyed that movie so much.
I get it. A lot of people love them. A lot of people, like my little brother, is really into those dog movies. One of his favorite movies, I don't remember what it's called, but it's about the dog who always goes back to the train.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
then the owner dies, but it continues to go back to the train to try and find the owner. Loves that movie. Bored out of my mind through that movie.
Okay.
It's not my thing. I like dogs. I don't love dogs.
I'm the
It's
exact
not my
same
thing.
way, but for some reason, Balto and Togo and this one, I really like. I'm not that big of a dog person either, but I love these movies. Balto, I was obsessed with Balto when I was a kid. I would watch that movie again and again and again and again. And
Airbud was on all the time growing up, but it was rarely ever, if ever, my choice.
okay, I like Airbud. I don't love Airbud. It's pretty good.
There's also the Snow Dogs show, whatever that one was.
I don't know what that one
This is
is.
another Disney one. I think it's actually called Snow Dogs, but don't hold me to it. It's literally about a team of sled dogs.
Okay.
So, animal movies just aren't my thing. Like I cannot tell you an animal movie I love other than The Lion King.
Okay, really? None
I
other.
don't like Jungle Book. Life
Okay.
of Pi was boring and stupid.
What about have
All
you ever
those
seen
dog movies.
Homeward Bound? I really love Homeward Bound,
Homeward Bound has some great music.
but that's about it.
The Fox and the Hound is one of the most depressing movies. Like, I did not watch that movie for decades because I found it so depressing.
Wow. Wow. What about you like Zootopia? Does that count?
Yeah, ish. I mean, like, they're animals, but it's a human story and they're acting like humans. And I
Okay.
like it, I don't love it.
Okay.
Right? Like, that does not make my top 10 Disney projects at all. And
Trying to-
I wouldn't even put it in my top 10 Disney animated projects.
I don't think I would either, even though I do like that movie. I wouldn't, even though I like that movie a lot.
I like that movie. I don't love that movie. I'm glad I watched it. I've seen it twice. And the second time was not because I wanted to watch it, it's because somebody I was dating wanted to watch it. And I'm not against watching it, but yeah.
Charlotte's Web. You gotta like Charlotte's Web. That's just
I hate Charlotte's Web.
oh dude, how do you hate Charlotte's Web? It's just so likable.
Uh, Mostly because it was one of those things that I was forced on me as a kid.
Okay, okay.
And it was at a point in my life where I was like, reading's the worst. I hate reading. They're like, you have to read this or
Read
you're
it.
going to fail. You're going to have to repeat fifth grade or fourth grade or whatever it was. And I'm like, no, I don't want to. Um, I hated Animal Farm. I love history. That point in history is like my bread and butter. Animal Farm is such a waste of time.
Dude, Animal Farm is one of my favorite books of all time. That is
Oh, it's
crazy to me.
so terrible.
I love it.
Yeah,
You like Ratatouille, right?
I do like Ratatouille. but not
Okay,
nearly as much as you do. It's
I
your
know. I
all-time
know that.
favorite Pixar project.
I
It's not a
freaking
top 5 Pixar project for me.
I love it. I love it so much.
It's very good. It's very good.
Um, man, Free Willy sucks. I don't like Free Willy. Lady and the
I
Tramp's
actually
not
would
good.
put Ratatouille in my love. I do love Ratatouille.
Okay, okay. Do
So
you like
that one would go into my love section.
what do you think about Rango? We've never talked about this movie. What do you think about this movie? I don't know
It's
what I think
fine.
about this movie. Okay.
It's
There are
fine.
times I like it and there's times I don't. It's a weird movie for me.
I've never disliked it, but it's like Johnny Depp acting as a Western. Like, it's never offensively bad. It's never like I never enjoy it. And it's not like Monsters versus Aliens that you can't really quite explain by sometimes you find it hilarious and sometimes you find it just utterly boring. It's never like that. It just is what it is, and a lot of people hype it up as one of the most underrated movies of all time. And I'm like, no, because of how much you guys hype it, it is properly hyped.
What about Finding Nemo? We've also never talked about that. I don't think.
I think the animation in Finding Nemo is amazing.
I agree. I
I
agree.
like Squirt a lot. And
That's about
Crush.
it.
Yeah.
Okay. I enjoy Finding Nemo. I think it's pretty enjoyable
It's a
movie.
I like it but not love it. But like I haven't turned that on in like for a long time. The last time I watched Finding Nemo, it was probably an actual DVD, not Blu-ray, not HD,
A
a
DVD.
DVD. I still remember that it has the shapes game with the fish after the credits.
Do
That's
you
probably the last time I watched that.
Man, there's a lot of these I wouldn't have thought of. Like Jurassic Park. I don't know if I call that an animal movie, but I guess it kind of is.
I wouldn't call it an animal movie, but I also haven't seen it, so
Oh yeah, you haven't. Do you like Jaws? I that
I hate Jaws. It's
Okay.
so
I think it's
boring.
wildly overrated.
I
Do you like
think
King
that like
Kong?
if I was alive at the time, then maybe. But yeah. Uh, do I like King Kong? The answer to that is which one?
Okay.
Because the Peter Jackson King Kong is bad, but in a enjoyable way.
Okay.
And weirdly, Jack Black is like the most bipolar thing in that show because it's like you feel like he's making the whole movie worth your while at the same time saying he's bad at this. He should stick to more comedic roles. But he is the only thing that's making me like this movie. So it's weird. Like the Peter Jackson one has a lot of problems, like the lust eyes between the ape and the girl, and you're like, what the freak is going on here? But the King Kong movies leading up to Godzilla in the big one, I do enjoy those. But I wouldn't put those as animal movies because that's in my like monster movies.
Yeah, it's a different thing.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Do you like the documentaries, Our Planet, Nature, Emperor Penguin, all those kind of things?
The only one I've enjoyed is like Planet Earth.
Okay.
Like that one just is objectively just the best one. I
That's a good
haven't
one.
seen it in a long time. I may turn it on at some point, but again, that's a like it, not love it, and that's more educational interest than
Okay.
like I love the animal part of this thing. You
It's
know,
just interesting the animals on a scientific level.
nature and scientific level. Yeah, like there's an episode of Planet Earth, and it's the only one that I really like remember, and it's all about trees in the rainforest. And I found that so interesting. Like I still remember to this day learning about how trees work based on the Planet Earth episode about the trees in the rainforest.
I like this kind of thing, and Sid loves that, so we watch it sometimes. That's interesting. I
Yeah.
think I'm more into those kind of things than you are, actually. That's all right.
Yeah, I'm not against it. Like, I like Planet Earth. I'm not opposed to Planet Earth ever.
You're not
It's
opposed to
just
Planet
like,
Earth. That's good.
yeah, it's just like, would I rather watch Planet Earth or some cheesy anime chick flicky show?
He's the anime chick flick show.
Yeah, the chick flicky show generally wins out. In fact, it's always won out. Though I probably should watch more Planet Earth, more Discovery Channel kind of stuff. Probably be good for me.
I like some of that stuff. It's a good thing. It's one of my favorite things to play in the background. And I can look over and be like, oh, cool, the penguins are jumping off that cliff. Or, oh, cool, the snake is swallowing a boar. Whatever. Cool thing.
You know that penguins jumping off the cliff is famous and it's funny now thing?
I didn't know it was a funny now thing. What's funny about it?
I don't remember what movie it was, but it's an animated movie and it's of these camera guys pushing penguins off the edge of the cliff to make it look like they're jumping off the cliff. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, but that sounds awesome.
Okay, it's in like Madagascar or one of those movies that features penguins. Anyway, it's so funny because in the nature documentary that you're talking about, with the most famous scene from it, that's
Yeah.
what happened. There were
Really?
camera guys at the top pushing penguins off the cliff into the mouths of seals and other
Oh,
animals just to get the shot of the penguins diving off the edge.
that's so bad.
I'll see if I can find the clip explaining it because I'm not doing a very good job. And I think when you see the clip from it, you'll recognize it. It might be like Happy Feet or something like that.
Okay.
But
I've seen Happy Feet, but it's so long. I don't remember very well.
yeah, I don't remember what show it's from. But like the show made a joke about this terrible thing that humans did just for the shot. And it's actually really funny.
Yeah, you should totally tell me. And we'll add it into the comments. We'll add the link. That's awesome. Anyway, with that, let's go to your next one. And I'm interested in what you think about this movie. Like, really interested in what you think about this movie.
Okay, do you mind if we do the other one first? Because I have less to say about it.
You want to do Black Mirror first?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
I watched the first half of 2 episodes of this show, and I do not understand how you could recommend this to anybody ever.
I love this show. It does depend on the episode. Like I said, I think in the review, it depends on the episode. But there are some episodes that are just bangers.
I did not get it. So, like, the first episode is super weird. It's super uncomfortable. I stopped watching halfway through because I don't want to find out and I don't want to see what the guy does, if he's going to sleep with the pig or not. And then, so I looked up a synopsis and it just ends. They don't tie it up. They don't put a neat little bow on it. They don't put a crappy bow on it. They're like, here's an opened Christmas present that my dog ran through. That's your episode. And so you go, okay, Conlon really recommended this show, so let me put on the second episode. And it's the same freaking thing. It is just weird, and like, what the crap are we talking? Like, some PG-13 version of Saw kind of crap is going on in this thing of will they, won't they do the super weird thing. And then you go, I'm going to turn this off because this is crossing the boundary of inappropriate stuff I don't like to subject my eyes to. And so you look up the synopsis and it's the same thing, except this time the dog took a shit in the present that they're then giving you.
I would honestly recommend, like, because each episode is different and some episodes aren't great, to be completely honest, some of them are. I love the entire history of you. It is a little bit more, it doesn't show any sex that I remember. I don't think it does, but it is more sex themed. So maybe that'll be a problem for you. I don't know. I don't believe it shows anything. But that one's really, really good. Like, I would recommend go to that episode, go to season 2 and go to White Bear or go to White Christmas. Both are great episodes. Like, I can give you individual episodes that are great, because I do think they're great, The Entire History of You is one of my favorite episodes of television. Like, I think it's phenomenal. But
I know, but like, A, how did you get there?
I actually started with that one. I know I did start with that one. The first episode that I ever watched was the USS Callister. And I was like, wow, that's really, really good. And then I watched, it started a random episode. I think it was Hanging the DJ, which is a top rated episode on IMDb. I didn't like that episode at all. Didn't think it was good. So I looked up online. I think I looked up on Reddit actually. What are some of your favorite episodes? And I was like, you know what? A lot of people recommend The Entire History of You. It gets recommended all the time. I'll give it a shot. I didn't like the second episode very much, but I'll try that one. And I was like, wow, that is horrifying. That is so well done. That is incredible writing. That's amazing. I watched a couple other episodes, and I kind of just fell off. And I was like, I never really watched more of it. I watched episode 1, and I watched the pig one that you were talking about, and I was like, nah, not my thing. So I just skipped to season 2, and I started watching season 2, and I was like, first episode, that was pretty good. I liked that. And then I watched the second episode, and I was like, I like that. And I didn't really like the third episode. And then I watched the fourth episode, and I was like, wow, that is astoundingly good. That is amazing. And I haven't started my season 3 viewing yet. But that's kind of where it is. I've watched a few other episodes here and there that are highly recommended. But that's how I got into it.
Okay.
Like, watch season 4, episode 1, USS Callister, and like see what you think about that one. That was my first episode, and I think it's great.
I guess I can try individual episodes.
It's really good, man. Yeah, give it a shot. Give it a shot, man.
Okay. I'll try History of You. I'll give it a shot.
Try literally try USS Callister. Like, it's a lot more. It's a lot less dark than a lot of the other episodes, and you might appreciate it more. It's still
it's
a
not
dark episode.
Dark themes that bother me.
I know it's a lot more tame. Tame maybe is the word. I don't know.
Okay,
but they're both. I think they're both great episodes of television, for real.
Okay.
Give them a shot. Maybe you'll hate them. I hope you don't. I hope you like them.
Okay. I'll give it another shot, I guess. Tune in next week. I'll report back on if anything in this show is salvageable.
Okay.
Because so far my impression is this is not good. Like, it's just weird, and then it doesn't even end or give you any sort of solution or answers or anything. It just is over.
The episode "Be Right Back." I have a hard time seeing you not like that episode. You might not like the ending, but other than that, I think you'll like the episode. I was mixed on the ending. But there's just so many good ideas, and there's so many good explorations and good writing, and it's just good. Just good. But we'll see what you think.
Okay. No, we'll see.
All right. What about the menu?
Okay. The menu. I caught a clip of this on TikTok. It was the scene where she's asking for a hamburger. And I was like, I have seen the cover of this show more than I have heard about this show, more than anybody's talked about this show. I know nothing about it. Nothing. So I was like, okay, it's called The Menu. She's asking for a hamburger. I like the bear. I like the cheesy chick flick about the chefs. I like, so whatever this is, I pulled it up on IMDb, saw nothing inappropriate in that kind of section. So I was like, okay, let's turn this on and see. And Anya Taylor-Joy. She's in it.
Yeah, she's phenomenal.
And what's his bucket is also in it, and I kind of like him. Ralph Fiennes, and also Nicholas Hoult is sometimes really good. So sure, let's give this shot a try, or this show a try. Uh, I cannot help but start drawing connections between Anya Taylor-Joy and Kristen Stewart.
What do you mean?
I can't decide if she's actually a good actress or not at this point.
Okay.
So
I
far, I've not seen her show very much emotion. She's very dry in her thing. She portrays the same character in all of them, and all of them are kind of like this monotone speaking. Like even in the gorge, like she doesn't enunciate or project very much. She's kind of just like dry, and it reminded me of Kristen Stewart in Twilight. And I'm like, I think the only difference between these two people is Kristen Stewart went for Twilight, and Anya Taylor-Joy went for good roles with good writing and good stories. I mean, do you get what I'm saying with the dry and the monotone thing?
I do get it, except for your point about the gorge. Because like part of the thing that made me rate the gorge so highly is the flirty tones that she does with the other guy, whatever his name is. And how she has like so much emotion and she's so cute and like so like lovable. And I don't agree with that with the gorge. I don't. But I
Okay,
get where you're coming about it from.
I could look at that, but to my memory, that was
Yeah.
all a lot of very good body acting and physical acting. It's not very much facial acting.
I think it's in her eyes a lot actually. In
I
that
just
in the gorge at least.
don't remember that. She has very big anime eyes. So like I could be dead wrong, but the entire time I was watching this movie, I was like, she does the exact same portrayal in Queen's Gambit. They are the exact same character. They're both nonsense characters. They're very monotone. They're very like sophisticated. We're never gonna smile characters. Like
That's more the comparison that I thought you were going to go towards because I do think this character is very similar to what she plays in Queen's Gambit. Very similar.
okay. Moving on from her, like that is just a weird little connection that I thought of. It's not like I'm not like dead set on it. I'm not gonna fight anybody on it. That's just where my mind went. I can't decide if this is a good movie or not. Because genuinely, I think like the writing is really good for the story that they're trying to tell.
I agree.
I think the director does a great job with like camera angles and that kind of stuff. I think all the actors do a great job for the story they're trying to tell. But at the end of the day, I was like, that was kind of weird.
I also agree.
And I don't know if I like it or dislike it because there's a lot of pros. But at the end of the day, I don't feel like I was entertained. I don't feel like it was a Knives Out kind of murder mystery thriller thing where I kind of like got the satisfying answer. It's kind of left on this artistic choice of her eating the hamburger. And I'm thinking to myself, did she decide to agree with him? Is she going to become a killer now? What is
Oh,
happening?
I thought she finally took out the crazy psychopaths and they just did an artistic rendition of the burger at the end. And you're kind of left empty as the viewer, which is unsatisfying when you watch it, but is a great piece of art, which kind of makes you feel unsatisfied with the movie, even though that feeling of emptiness is kind of what they're trying to portray at the end of the movie, which is a little brilliant. When I first watched the movie, I was like you. I think I like that. I don't know if I like that. And then I watched it again and I actually liked it more the second time.
Okay. I did not feel empty at the end. I would not
Oh,
describe it at that.
okay.
It kind of just felt like you felt like relieved, like, okay, she escaped, right? She got out, right? But there's this whole side plot line where he's trying to convince her that, you know, she's a giver, not a taker. And only takers deserve to die, right? So when she was eating that burger, it felt like acceptance that he was right,
Okay, I see where you're coming from. That's an interesting point.
right? I was like, she's already morally corrupt as a character because of her profession and what she decides to do. And it's very how you interpret it, right? I get it. It's
Absolutely.
however you decide to interpret it, like that's up to you. To me, I was sitting there like, it's kind of like the top in Inception. Is it gonna fall or isn't it? Is she a serial killer now, or is she just eating a burger on a boat because she's stuck there?
Because she has the burger and it was made for her.
Yeah, and like there's this very weird like connection thing where she like starts to connect with him before everything goes down too, and like she challenges him to make the burger, and you're like, he starts to smile and you're like, oh, he's experiencing life and love to prepare food again, maybe he's gonna let everybody live or something. And then it's like, nope, we're gonna have some weird thing where we turn everybody into s'mores, which was just strange, like so uncomfortably weird. Not quite as weird as Black Mirror that we just talked about, but like, what was the director and story going through with that? Like, there's a lot of stuff where I was like, okay, I can get the messaging that they're coming across with this. I did not get the message with that one at all. They're trying to tell us that they are the dessert. The best part of the meal are these terrible people. That's the message that you're trying to send. I
I
just
don't.
I don't know. Like, it's not a statement that that's what they were trying to tell. It's just like every other part of the movie. I get the messaging and I felt connected to the story. And
Yeah,
then that happens and you're like, what the freak? And then she eats the burger. And to me, I'm like, is she what? And it's, I don't know if I liked this or not. I don't know if I'll ever watch this again because, like, what?
I was so interested in it that I think I watched it again the next day because I was like, I think I like that. And there's a lot of good aspects, like the girl who's the food critic, and everything that goes along with her is fantastic, like
Oh,
so well done. Um, it is a weird movie. It's a weird movie.
so, like, the food critic is great, but
Yes,
the guy that she's with is so unbelievably irritating.
I also agree. He's like cartoonishly irritating.
Yeah, he does not fit the tone of the movie at all. I don't know if it was the actor or the director or the writing,
I mean, some of these rich
but
people are supposed to be over exaggerated, and I think that
they
that's
all
what we're.
are. They're
I
all supposed to be over
They're all
exaggerated.
over exaggerated, and he is the person who's sucking up to power and influence, and that's just done over exaggerated. And that over exaggerated character is more annoying than the other over exaggerated characters
Right.
because that character is more annoying. No one
Yeah.
likes that character.
Well, I don't like any of the characters, right? So every character is annoying except
But
for Anya Taylor-Joy's character.
but suck ups are like innately people just don't like them. Like we are built to not
But
like
so
suck
is the
ups.
movie character, the movie guy. He's also a suck up. And
He is a
worse than
suck up.
that, he's a lying sociopath who will say or do anything to get what he wants.
That's true.
Right? Like
Yeah. So why is the other guy more annoying? That's true.
he right like my thought is like the other guy is more annoying because his character is redundant in that he's the type of person who's trying to please the actual critic. And so he's trying to play somebody who's trying to pretend to know stuff about stuff that he doesn't actually, if that makes sense. right? So he's trying to pretend to know what a food critic would know, even though he doesn't. And it's really irritating because every time you think he's going to have an original thought, the actual food critic lady, who does a way better job with her role, is like, yes, but also no, because this. And then he's like, yes, you're right. And you're like, have a thought, dude.
Come
Have an
on.
original thought, right?
Disagree with
Say, disagree with
something.
her. Say, like, at least have something that is, like, uniquely you in the show. But he's not the kiss up because there's another kiss up. He's not the food critic because there's another food critic. He's not the guy that loves food because there's also a guy who likes food. He's not the cheater fool guy because we have the cheater fool guy. And like, there's that. My other thought with this is like, Anya Taylor-Joy's character, is also not the only innocent one there.
Who else is innocent?
The one dude's wife, the guy who loses his finger, his wife, she got cheated on.
That's true. That's a good.
And like, there's this whole scene where he goes around, right? The first one is like the douchebag guys, and they're like, you're lying on your taxes and whatever, and you're financially defrauding your company, so you're evil, right? And you're like, yeah, bad thing. They did a bad thing. Okay, great. And then it goes to the next one, and it's like, I'm a movie director, actor, person, and I lied about everything. I don't know him. I don't have any of these personal connections. I'm faking it till I make it. And I'm doing it in an obnoxious way. But also, that's kind of how you do things. You kind of have to fake it till you make it. But everything you did to your assistant, not great. And then, like, at the end, she's like, I was stealing from you this whole time. And he's like, I know. And you're like, okay, dude, whatever. And so, like, she's not innocent. But, like, this old guy and his wife, right? When it gets time to drill down on these two people, on why they're evil, he's like, he's a cheater. He spends all this money on this stuff. And he's like, name one thing you've had ever having been here. And like, she has the answer and he doesn't. So like, I get that we have communicated that he is a bad guy too. But what you didn't communicate to me is she's also a bad person for some reason. Right? Like, every other character has this part where they're described on why they're a bad person and why they deserve to die. Except for Anya Taylor-Joy, who's a prostitute. So like, morally, not great. And this person who just happens to be married to this terrible person.
That's a very good point. They needed to establish something more than she did.
Right, like, I get that she's not the most prominent character in this movie. I get that she's very much like slightly above the other chefs because she has some lines, but
Could have done something.
you could have explained to me why she deserved to not be able to escape with Anya Taylor-Joy. The next thing I was thinking was like, after she asked for the hamburger, why didn't all of them ask for a hamburger? And the story kind of just says they accept it. They all kind of just accept that they deserve to die in the end. And I'm like, not one of them was like, excuse me, sir, I didn't like my meal either. May I send it back? And him say, well, what would you like? Like, I thought there was going to be this whole scene where they all have this meal where he prepares them all what they actually want for their final meals. But they don't do that. They kind of just go to, we're turning you all into s'mores now, and we're going to burn you all alive.
Yeah, that didn't really bug me, to be honest, but it's a fair point. That one didn't bug me.
It didn't bother me, right? Like, I was just like expecting this way, and it went this way, and it went into a weird thing that they were going to do anyway. The weird thing is my complaint because it's not really like effective at whatever it's trying to communicate. But I also don't feel like it's up to interpretation like the burger was. Like, the burger feels like intentionally like it's up to the viewer to decide what this kind of means for this character. The s'mores thing didn't feel that way. It felt like all the rest of the menu items, and it felt like they were trying to portray something, and I'm just sitting there like, I don't know what you're trying to tell me here. This is just weird. This is a weird thing to do to somebody.
Why would you do that? What's the artistic rendering of that? Like, what are they trying to do?
Yeah, what are you trying to tell me about these people, right? Because everything else is about, you know, how this is about the people, right? So we got the thigh with the thing in it because she stabbed him in the thigh, and we got like everything connects. So yeah, I can't give this one a rating because like if I narrow it down, right, is the writing good? The writing is fantastic. Is the acting good? The acting is fantastic. Cinematography, director, all of these things are like this is great. But when I think about it as a whole, I'm like that was kind of weird. I don't know if I liked that or not.
Hmm.
So
So
I don't know what to say.
I just looked this up, and this is not my representation. It's some dude on Reddit, but he says the menu, the s'mores course represents Chef Swaks, whatever his name is, anguish and his feelings towards the wealthy guests who do not appreciate his culinary art. He uses the s'mores as a metaphor to express his frustration with the rich, who can afford extravagant meals but do not value the effort and passion in them. The s'mores are made using rich people as ingredients, symbolizing how he tends to make them realize the waste of his life catering to their demands. The chocolate in the s'mores represents the sweet life of the rich, while the sugar water symbolizes his art, which has become stagnant due to catering to their whims. The graham cracker is described as an industrial ingredient, reflecting his feeling of being confined to a culinary industry, losing his passion and soul. That seems kind of pulled out of nowhere. I don't know. I can kind of get where he's coming from, but it seems like too much. Go ahead.
I'm calling BS. I don't
Yeah,
agree with that at all because the whole
yeah,
ending monologue is about how the s'more is such a simple, sweet pleasure that rich people don't enjoy because it's for the poor.
yeah. I don't get it either. I don't get it either. I don't.
Yeah. So like if it was representing what that guy was saying he was representing, it would be a more extraordinary dessert. But it
Yeah,
kind of feels like this is a crappy dessert and you guys are crappy people, so we're going to make you into the crappy dessert and you're going to burn alive.
yeah. It could represent like you're rich and you don't appreciate the little things, so you're going to die by the little things. Something like that seems more reasonable, but still not
But it's not what's
satisfying.
told, right?
Yeah,
It's anyway.
yeah.
What would you rate this movie on a scale of 1 to 10?
To me, a solid 7 is what I would give it. I like this movie. I don't love this movie, but I like this movie.
Okay. So, the movie I was comparing it to was Knives Out.
Yeah.
It's not really a murder mystery like Knives Out is, but it feels like a similar tone and directorial thing, and it's a lot of artistic choices and filmography and dialogue and that kind of thing. What would you rate that movie on a scale of 1 to 10?
I rated it a 6. I don't like it as much as a lot of people. It felt very, very, very obvious who the bad guy was very early in the movie with that, and it made the whole thing a lot less satisfying to me. But that's a me personal thing. I don't think it's a terrible movie. I don't.
Okay.
I'm
You
not sad
realize
at
that's what they
it.
were going for it, right?
Um, that's not a very. If that's what they were going for, that's not a very effective murder mystery.
Right, but the story is we as a viewer see that it's obvious, but them as the characters who don't see all of the things that we see wouldn't necessarily see all of the things. I think it's very effective. I really liked it, but I don't think that's a valid criticism. Like, that can be a reason you don't like it, but like, that's what they were trying to do.
Feel like they were trying to do that. To me, it felt like they were trying to make it more complicated. So you did figure it out eventually, but you have to piece it together, and then you're like, oh, I was right towards the end. And I figured out that it was the guy that it is in the first like 20 minutes of the show or something. It really was.
You were supposed to.
Kind of unsatisfied. If that's what you're supposed to do, I guess that's better. I just didn't think
Yeah.
that.
No, you're 100% supposed to
So,
know who the killer was,
okay.
right? The whole wrap up was what was the girl's involvement, right? That was the whole thing where you're like, I'm not sure how she's connected to all of this,
Connected all of it.
right? That's what,
Maybe
and that's what the whole wrap up is about. The wrap up isn't like, look, he's the killer.
it's how is she involved?
It's how is she involved? What was she doing? You know, all that kind of stuff. So
It just left me feeling a little unsatisfied when I watched it.
totally fine. Like I'm totally fine. Yeah, you saying you don't like it? It's a very polarizing movie. I was just curious.
I don't think. I think it's a fine movie. I'm glad I watched it once. I don't have anything really bad about it. It's just fine. Unfortunately, what?
Daniel Craig was bad about it.
Oh, okay. I didn't even like. He was fine to me too. Like it was just a fine movie.
His
It's not
accent,
like
man. His accent was terrible. I could not stand it.
It's not like the follow up that I think is a bad movie. I don't like the follow up at all. I thought it was terrible, to be honest. But what is it? Do you remember what it's called?
Glass Onion.
Yeah, I didn't like Glass Onion. I thought Glass Onion was a bad movie. Knives Out, I don't think is a bad movie, and I understand if somebody really loves it, and I'm totally fine with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, let's go to our last topic, draft day. I'll go first on this one. I had not seen this. Josh had. I didn't honestly expect a lot from this movie. I have never cared about the draft ever in my life. I will never care about the draft ever in my life. It doesn't matter to me. When people talk about it at school, I feel, why do you care? This isn't even the game. Why do you care? And the fact that I enjoyed this movie as much as I did is like a miracle. I really didn't think I was going to like it that much. And it's just highly entertaining. And everyone does a good job. The one, there were two things I found a little unbelievable, but then I'll go to the good stuff because they're very minor. You have the office guy who is being like, hey, ma'am, can you help me? Can you help me? There's a fire. And I was like, this little bitch would be eaten up for breakfast at this place. He would get chewed up, swallowed out, and thrown out. There's no way he would work there. And then there's the mom who is complaining to the main character on the day of the draft, maybe his busiest day of the year. And I'd be like, even if the mom sucks, which she doesn't completely suck, she'd be like, he's absolutely swamped today. Let's do it any other day of the year. But those are kind of my only two real negatives about the show that I actually think are kind of negative. Other than that, I think it's just good. All the acting's good. The drama when he's making those the last pick, the last trade with the Seattle Seahawks, I literally like leaned into my computer because I was that into that scene. I was just riveted. I was on the edge. I was literally on the edge of my seat with that scene. It's just good.
So what would you rate this show on a scale of 1 to 10?
I want to let it sit for a little bit and see if I'm being overzealous because I watched it today, but right now I would give it an 8. It's a really good movie. I really liked it.
Okay. All right. So let's take this piece by piece from your notes. The guy who's the little weenie guy who had never worked there. I think he's a good part of the show, and I disagree with you that he wouldn't work there because A, it's very well identified that he's an intern.
Yeah.
B, it's not necessarily a daily occurrence. Like you're looking at this situation where he was called in last minute as a temp, intern, and it's the most stressful day of the year for this organization and the draft specifically, right? So like, do I agree with you that he wouldn't work there if that's how it was all day, every day? Yes, absolutely. But I don't think it would be. And also, like, he's an intern and he clearly probably has some passion for sports and sports statistics. So, would somebody put up with that? Absolutely, they would. So that's not in the negative column for me at all. I think him being in the show makes it better, and his role is a good one to have. The mom. Here's where I'm on the mom side. It was communicated to him ahead of time. He knew what the expectations were. Kevin Costner pushed it off and tried to deny it, and it was his father's dying wish for it to happen on that day.
It doesn't say it had to happen on that day, just that I don't think so. I think it just said that that's what he wanted done. I don't think it says
on that day. On that day. On that field. Yep.
Maybe I missed that. I knew it was on that field, but I thought it could just happen tomorrow. And it would be fine.
No, Kevin Costner's literally like, we'll do it tomorrow, we'll do it a different day. And the mom and the sister's like, this is when he wanted to do it. This is when we had everybody come to do it. This is what we're doing. Be a part of it. And he's like, he's dead. He's not going to care if it happens tomorrow. Right?
Okay. Maybe I missed the whole it had to be that day thing. I wasn't
it was very much like communicated that like it's in the father's last wishes that like on draft day he be spread on. I don't think it was specifically like draft day, but like the anniversary of his head coaching job or whatever, and it just happened to be on draft day. But like for whatever reason, it was supposed to happen that day. It was clearly planned ahead of time. It's not like the mom just like showed up on draft day and was like, get your butt in gear. This is what we're doing. And he's like, what are you doing here? Why are you here? What? Like, that doesn't happen. He's like, I was ignoring you. Like, she's like, you weren't answering my message. And he's like, yeah. Okay, terrible child. That's your mother. Answer the dang phone. And
like, he's so busy today. And if he doesn't get to the messages, oh well. And it did seem like, hey, I've got this urn here, and we went through your dad's will, and he kind of wants to be dumped on the field. I know you're busy, but I don't really care. Let's go do that.
There is like, a little bit of that. There is a little bit of her being like, I don't care how busy you are. This is like, right? But like her caring about it is because it was asked for by her husband. And
okay.
Right. Like, and again, like, even if this wasn't like, it wasn't that way, right? Let's say it wasn't planned by the father, right? Like, it was for sure communicated ahead of time, right? She's still not just showing up willy-nilly. Like, he knew she was coming. He knew this was happening. He knew ahead of time. Yes, it's a busy day, but nobody's too busy for your father's funeral. So I'll defend the mom. Not completely on that subject, because you do have some validity to that. But it's not like bad character or bad writing, because some moms are absolutely like that. I think it's overall a good part of making this whole thing feel like there's a lot going on, and not just like us watching a draft, right? Like, so this is something outside of the draft and outside the organization that is happening that makes us as a viewer also feel like, wow, there's so much going on here. There's like, we can't balance it all. We're on a ticking clock. There's, all that XYZ, whatever, right? So I think this movie's fantastic. I think the writing in it is great. You're absolutely right. I don't care about the draft. I don't even really care about the NFL. I'm a player fan. I don't have a team. I have never once watched a draft, even a little bit. Not even one pick. I've never watched. I don't care. I also don't care about baseball statistics or about baseball in general, but Moneyball is a fantastic movie.
I agree. I agree.
And this is the same comparison I will make to this one. It's like Moneyball. It's not really a sports movie. It's about a sports team and it's a drama, and both of them are kind of sort of based on true stories, so that's kind of interesting and it's really cool, and it's great. Like, I genuinely love this movie. I would give it an 8 out of 10. Exactly what you would give it.
Okay. Yeah, I was very, very, very pleasantly surprised with this movie. I There's just some good like I wrote this one down because I liked it so much. How is the ultimate prize in the most macho sport ever a piece of jewelry? I literally laughed out loud. I was like, that is so good. You're right. I've never thought about that. But absolutely you are right. That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So let me ask you this. What prompted you to watch this movie? Because I have recommended it in the past. Yet last week you said this should be our shared topic. Why?
It was one of the shared topics you kind of recommended, and I was like, you know what? You recommended it to Moneyball, and Moneyball is another one that I was very surprised that I liked as much as I did. Like, actually, I love Moneyball. I like Moneyball better than this one, even though it's a great movie. And I was like, hey, if you compare it to that, you love this movie. You've talked about it before. Let's give it a shot. And then it was the shared topic, which helped get me from being like, yeah, I'll get to it at some point, to, okay, I need to watch it this week.
But, like, why did you suggest it as a shared topic? Because I recommended it to you like a year and a half ago.
You brought it up as one of the possibilities, didn't I? Didn't you? I did.
You did.
I don't
Yep.
even remember that.
I was
I
completely
don't.
dead. I was out. I was like, I don't even know what to do for a shared topic. I have no idea what I'm going to watch. I have no idea what I'm going to read. I have no idea. I don't know. And you were like, "Have you seen Draft Day?" And I was like,
Oh
"Yeah,
yeah,
I
you're
love
right.
Draft Day.
We totally
I
did that.
could review this one without watching it, which I did because I did not watch it this week."
I have no idea because I think I was just on Plex and I was scrolling through things and I was like, huh, Draft Day. Josh said that's good, and then
Okay.
I was like, okay, yeah, let's do that. I think
Okay.
that's what I did. I don't know. I don't know, but I really like the movie.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you liked it. I was just curious about like what else might have happened because sports aren't really your big thing.
No,
Just seems like where did that come from? I was curious. So
I don't know. I don't have like a really good reason, but I'm glad I watched it. I usually like sports movies. I can't really think of one that I. Oh, that's not true. There are some of the dumb comedy ones that I don't like, but most of the drama ones I at least enjoy.
okay. I love sports, but there's a lot of drama ones I don't enjoy.
I can't think of one that I. Yeah, I can't think of one that I'm like I just don't like that. Most of them are kind of like
We Are
glad I watched
Marshall.
it. I like that movie.
I don't.
Oh, okay, yeah, I like it. Is it
I
as good
don't
as a
like it at
lot of
all.
people say? No, but I like it.
Its whole premise is like, look at the sports team. Look at like, what's the word? Uh, Getting back up after you're knocked down.
Yeah, like
It's all about that
perseverance,
perseverance.
will, grit, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Except it's not, and that bothered me.
Okay, that's fair enough, man.
Uh,
I Yeah, I liked it.
I did not like it. But anyway,
I
um,
like, yeah, they're all good. I even like most of the comedy ones. There's just some of them I
I
don't like.
don't.
Like I don't like Talladega Nights at all.
I
I
haven't seen
don't want
Talladega
to.
Nights, but I don't like Longest Yard. What are some other comedy sports movies?
I think Longest Yard is fine. It's not good.
It's terrible. It's so stupid. It's
I
Adam
love Happy
Sandler. It's so
Gilmore.
dumb. I don't.
I love Billy Madison. I Not Billy Madison. Waterboy. I love Waterboy. Um, I love. I don't know what else is there. I know there's other ones. Comedy sports movies.
She's the Man. If you count that, I love that.
That one's great. I count that.
Cool Runnings is pretty good.
Cool Runnings is one of my favorite movies ever. I love Cool Runnings. Caddyshack is kind of a mixed bag. Parts of it are very funny. Sandlot is good. Nacho Libre is terrible. If that counts, it's a terrible movie. I hate that movie. A League of Their Own is a very good movie. Um, Dodgeball's terrible. That's a terrible movie.
Dodgeball is what more of I think of when I think. I don't think of Son-in-Law as like a comedy sports movie.
Okay.
It has comedy, and it is a sports movie, but
I
it's more
don't
about the perseverance of the kids and that kind of stuff.
I don't like the Mighty Ducks. I think if I watched it when I was a kid, I probably would, but I don't like the Mighty Ducks.
Yeah, I don't like Dodgeball. I don't like Blades of Glory. I think it's absolutely terrible. I don't
Blades
like
of Glory is
Benchwarmers.
terrible. Benchwarmers has a couple funny parts, but it is a bad movie.
I hate it. It's just dumb.
Yeah,
Don't like
there's
Nacho Libre. Yeah, anything
oh,
that's kind of like that kind of humor. I guess it's that kind of humor comedy show. I just don't like.
most of the time it doesn't work for me either. The only exception really is Adam Sandler for some reason. I like Adam Sandler. I
I
just do.
don't. Adam Sandler sucks. He's so stupid.
I
But you're in
enjoy
the
that.
majority there. I'm definitely in the minority in that opinion. He's one of the richest people in the world, and everybody loves him. I like bedtime stories. It's
I
literally the
like
only
his
movie I can think of.
early comedy movies a lot. I really most of them I like, but it is what it is. I'm glad we watched that one. I think that is kind of it for us guys. We appreciate you watching. If there are any like sports movies that are lesser known, I'm interested in watching more of them. I've kind of watched most of the really big ones, but if there's lesser known ones, I would love to watch them. Give us a recommendation. Do you like Adam Sandler movies? I do. Obviously, Josh doesn't. Is there a favorite Adam Sandler movie? Mine is 50 First Dates. I love 50 First Dates with all of my soul. I know Josh doesn't like it. I love that movie. Anyway, that's kind of it for us. We appreciate you. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. See you guys. Bye.